So hi guys, how are you all doing today? Welcome back to my channel. My name is juliettsstyleglam. This is your first time here with me. Thank you so much for being here. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, you are awesomely, truly welcome. How are you all doing? Right, so today's video, and then my mic decides, well, I think I'll leave it this way. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about the whole P Diddy thing, the P Diddy saga. We have new stories, new developments coming up in all of this. So we're going to continue with the P Diddy saga. We're going to talk about what we know, and we're also going to talk about the fact that the mom jumped into the chat. So we're going to discuss that. We are also going to talk about the fact that the Tupac's family is looking to reopen the case. We're going to see how that is going to take us, or where it's going to take us and them to. The fact that P Diddy says he wants to take the stand in this case. The fact that he has changed the judge for the case has been changed for reasons we don't know, and that the fact that he has actually eventually changed his lawyers, right? So let's begin. So let's start right from the point, from the beginning. So the points that I'm going to talk about, first of all, I'm going to start from the most serious. And if you recall, in all my previous videos, I've never talked about the fact that I never approached the baby oil issue at all. I never approached that. And I left it purposely for this particular segment of this video, my take, right? So I left it purposely for this segment. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this segment, but I decided, okay, why not? Because there's so many things coming out, and sometimes it's not always easy to actually be able to be abreast or always be on hand to record, especially when you have 1,000,001 things you're doing, right? So we're talking, so I'm going to approach, the baby oil. Now, again, there's a very nagging question. Why 1,000 bottles of baby oil? I'm beginning to hear stories filtering in about the fact that the baby oils were laced with, substances. At this point, I am not going to refute anything. At this point, I am definitely, because again, let's explain it. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Right now, as we all know, going to the shop store to buy baby oil is suspect. As in, it's suspect. And I use baby oil. Like, seriously, I use baby oil. My family uses baby oil. But right now, going to the store to buy baby oil is really suspect, So, again, hearing that it's not the fact that it's baby oil, but the fact that it's laced with substances. Now, that begins to make kind of a lot of sense to me, because we all know how this plays out, right? I think there's a movie about that, where they were melting drugs in cactus, right? In cactus tequila, right? So instead of it being tequila, it was drugs. So anything is possible at this point. And so, 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Well, listen, dude, he's the only one that can explain, what that is all about. Now, the fact that Diddy wants to take a stand, I'm asking, is it a good idea or not? I'm not so sure at this point, because this is a federal case, right? And it's a federal case based on the fact that, it's been classified under RICO, as we all found out, that this case has been classified under RICO. So is he going to be willing to take the stand? Or why would he be willing to take the stand? And I think that would be, in my opinion, the biggest mistake P Diddy will ever make. Because if not for anything, he's got incriminating evidence. And it's a simple question of yes or no. Is this you in this video doing such and such and such? It's a no-brainer. You cannot answer otherwise. It's a yes or no. So I think he should leave that aspect out. I don't know why he feels the need to be able to talk to, or to. I heard something in the corridors of his children. Now, if you recall, I did a video on the fact that his son Shyne, was actually being, also there's a case leveled against him similarly. And if you remember, if you watch that video, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to put it here. And I also spoke about the fact that, listen, I talked about the story of the two sons, right? What you choose. And so at this point, do I really exonerate? This is me. I'm trying not to put the sins of the father on the children, but he's got older kids, right? Which makes it difficult for me to believe that the older children did not know what was going on. The younger ones, possibly. Of course they didn't. But the older ones, I will find it difficult to believe it. I mean, we're kids. We know our parents, right? Our parents know us. I find it difficult I find it difficult to believe that those kids are aware of what their father was doing. I find that very, very difficult. So, yeah, P Diddy, there is really nothing, in my opinion, don't bother with taking the stand, right? Just let the stand be the stand and let your competent lawyers do the job, right? Which makes us to my third point, which is a little bit worrisome. The fact that the judge who was handling the case was Judge Andrew Carter, is no longer the person on this case, and it's now Arun Subramanian. Now, for me, it's a little bit suspect. I don't know, right? Why would the Judge Andrew Carter be removed? Remember, we've talked about the fact that there are a lot of heavyweights and a lot of names that will be rolling out in this story. On the day that the lawyer talked about the 120 victims who were leveling a case against P Diddy, then after that, when they talked about the fact that children were involved, minors were involved, boom, the judge is removed. Now, this is me just piecing things together. Why? There is no particular reasoning behind it, but it is suspect. A lot of people are like, well, this judge doesn't look like he's playing around. Listen, I don't judge a book by its cover. I judge a book by the value that it has shown. Judge Andrew Carter showed very, very strong hindsight when he said, what has love got to do with it? He showed value when he said that there is nothing that stops this man from getting to the victims and threatening them or bribing them or for whatever reason, and then the other victims do not come forward. And I think that is a very smart move. That's a very smart judge, because since he's been holed in there right now, right, people have been coming forth, and that is something good. Yes, everyone may not be saying the truth amongst them, but then we also notice that there is the courage for people to come forward. And now this new this new judge, we don't know him, except for the fact that he clerked with the former Supreme Court judge Ruth Ginsburg. That's it. Again, in my opinion, it's pretty suspect because, again, this is a very high profile case, very, very high profile, because we all know that there were very high profile people who went to Diddy's parties. That's it, right? Initially, I was saying, well, probably because it's a black man, maybe that's why. But that doesn't really fly. That doesn't. I'm beginning to look at it in different ways. It doesn't really fly in my head. The only thing that is flying in my head is get a judge who's a stooge. And in actual fact, if we're looking to make a connection, that is how Donald Trump has been able to get away with most of the things he's been able to get away with. And he gave the blueprint of this, he put the blueprint out for a lot of countries that we see that are tumbling up and down, judiciary-wise. That's the blueprint. Get the judges that are in your pockets and put them in seats that will make things happen in your favor. Okay, but well, this is just, this is me, throwing out ideas out there. And then we also talk about the fact that thankfully, Anifilio is out. Dude goes on TMZ and is doing a docuseries with TMZ. Make it make sense. That should be the most unserious lawyer. That would be the most unserious lawyer anyone could think of ever having. The fact that you are using, you are going on TMZ. Listen, TMZ is a gossip site. TMZ is the place that you do not, it's gossip. That's what it is, right? So no, it doesn't work that way. And then, he's hired a new set of lawyers. In fact, he hired the lawyer that is representing the dude who did the crypto fraud. All right. So, he's hiring him. He says it's Shapiro, Alexandra, and Anthony Rico. Yeah. And they have filed in a motion for another appeal to get him out on bail. Well, let's see how it's going to work out for him in that front. Then we are going to be, I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about Shyne. So, Shyne is still, so as I said, I watched Joe Budden's podcast, and one of the guys on the podcast seemed to be upset over the fact that Shyne was speaking. I've also heard people talk about the fact that there's a conflict of interest in his claims, right? Now, the thing is, how I see this is, Shyne is saying the truth. For whatever reason, he needs to get this truth out there. And for me, my take is that, being that he's in politics right now, right, it's important for his, political opponents to understand the relationship he's had with P Diddy, and that it wasn't a conflict of interest, and he had nothing to do with any of that. If you asked me, I would say that P Diddy was doing all this as a form of trying to get Shyne to keep quiet. But I think what is happening here is that Shyne, being the politician that he is, did not refuse whatever aid P Diddy was bringing in for Belize. Now, you see, that's the thing. That's where people, whatever Shyne P Diddy was doing was for the people of Belize. It wasn't for Shyne, right? And that is that. And so, if he decided he wanted to, fund the schools, give scholarships, it was for the people of Belize. It's in the name of the people of Belize. It's not in the name of Shyne. And I think that's where we have to draw the line. We also know that P Diddy could not have celebrated, his anniversary if that song was going to feature and Shyne was not there, because all the same, Shyne still has, rights to that song, right? It's his song. So any other person doing it would have seemed suspect, right? So I think that is what it is. And again, Shyne has said he didn't do this. If you have not watched the video I did on this, I'm going to attach it here as well. Shyne has said he didn't do this. The lady in question, who was the victim, has spoken out severally. And so this is a case of, again, it's very obvious that everything that has led up to this moment, it is very clear that it's racketeering. It's very clear, from, the drugs to the sex trafficking and human trafficking charges to it's very clear that this person in the name of P Diddy has used the umbrella of bad boy records to commit a lot of heinous crimes. And so you cannot separate one from the other. Who is bad boy? P Diddy. Who is P Diddy? Bad boy. That's it, right? And so, which brings me to the last topic, to this, not to the last, but another issue, which is of the fact that Tupac's family is saying that they are reopening the case. Now, what I don't know is this. Will it make a headway? I'm not sure. Why? For you to reopen a case, that means there's a new element, there's a new evidence that shows or states otherwise to what the verdict was previously. Right? And so if the family is saying that they are going ahead right now to reopen the case, do they have new evidence that states otherwise to the verdict that was given previously? Understanding that, Suge is already taking the fall, right? So that is something I'm not so sure it's going to go far, right? My take. And then our best friend Katt did a show. He did a show over the weekend. Oh my God. Katt Williams is who he says he is. Like, seriously. Katt is who he says he is. So Katt Williams did another tour over the weekend, and it was wild. And I mean, of course, on the tour, on the screen, what we have is the face of P Diddy and Justin Bieber. And of course, we know that Katt doesn't hold back. He gives it how it is. Katt does not hold back anything. And I mean, it was hilarious, right? This was, like, let me see, what's the name of the tour? The name of the tour was okay, I can't find it anymore. So yeah, so Katt did his thing. If I can, I'll see if I can put an excerpt of it. Katt did his thing. That's Katt. All I'll say is he called it. That's all I'm going to say. He called it. And here we are. He called it. And so we go to the final part of this video. Janice Combs, P Diddy's mom, decides to give a press release. Now, the funny thing about this press release is that she went, for me, the first thing that called out to me was the fact that she went through lawyers. Press release of her son, she went through lawyers. She got lawyers to write it. But I'm going to say this to P Diddy's mom, respectfully, mama, respectfully. You wrote that letter. I understand the fact. I understand the fact that you're a mom fighting for your child. I understand that. But you see, in the same letter, you shot yourself in the foot. You shot yourself in the foot when you say, I am not here to portray my son as perfect, because he is not. You shot yourself in the foot there. You shot yourself in the foot when you said, he has made mistakes in his past, as we all have. My son may not have been entirely truthful about certain things, such as denying he has ever gotten violent with an ex-girlfriend when the hotel's surveillance showed otherwise. Sometimes the truth and a lie become so closely intertwined that it becomes terrifying to admit one part of the story, especially when that truth is outside the norm or is too complicated to be believed. That is where you shot yourself in the foot. That whole statement entirely speaks to what I said when I said Bad Boy Records was used as an umbrella for racketeering. Who is Bad Boy Records? P Diddy. Who is P Diddy? Bad Boy Records. That statement you put out only dug a deeper hole. You did not do him any favors. Again, Mama Janice Combs. I want to also cite that there is a video of you where you were actually taking, drip shots with your son, and both of you kissed on the mouth. I will find it very difficult, right? I will find it very difficult for you to say that you did not know what your son was up to. I will find it very difficult. You see, as parents, our children are under our umbrella up to a certain point in their lives. And before they become independent, there are certain things that we notice that they do. There are certain things that they do that we look at. Our job as parents is to set things straight, give the lessons, show why it's not acceptable, and ensure that it's not repeated, and ensure that that lesson has been learned. That is what every parent... And why I'm saying this is because c'est grave, c'est tellement grave, surtout auprès les garçons. C'est vraiment grave auprès des garçons. Parce que là, on voit que les garçons qui sont devenus hommes, beaucoup d'entre eux ne sont pas les gentlemen. Beaucoup d'entre eux ne savent rien, ne savent pas comment traiter les femmes. That is where we are. We are in that world. And as a mom, and a single mom, because my condolences to you that you lost your son, your husband. As a single mom, I guess it must have been difficult. But you see, there are certain things that as a mom, because again, I'm from in Igbo land where I come from. When a mom sees herself with only her boys, and they get to a certain age when it seems like she may not be able to control what is happening, we take rest course with family members that are male, like uncles and, extended. We do that. So the boy or the boys could be sent to their uncles because the need for a male figure to take certain things in hand and do what is supposed to be done. That is how we perform in Alibo, in Nigeria, where I come from. I'm from the southeastern part of Nigeria. Ask around. For whatever reason, a woman's husband may not be available or present. The woman, the onus will lie on the extended family male members and the mom to ensure that this boy is now formed in that way. Because it's not everything that a mom can do. And it's not everything that a mom knows that a man may need or is passing through. So I actually feel to believe and sympathize with you on the fact that you didn't know exactly what your son may have been up to or was up to. I find that very difficult to believe. The court of public opinion is definitely going to come out in this because there have been stories and suspicions. But what fueled or what is fueling or what may have fueled it, aside from Cassie's case, but again, it was Homeland Security that went there. It was Homeland Security that got all the evidence. Homeland Security did all that. They made it public. They told us what they did. Right? And you may not like what I'm going to say, and a lot of people may not like what I'm going to say at this to end this video. But you see, as parents, I always imagine that a parent who teaches the child the right thing will not come out in support of a child who does something wrong. A parent who teaches the child the right thing will never come out in defense of that child when that child does something that is wrong, and you know that you have actually corrected that child over that. But when you know that your child has done nothing wrong, and you know, because that is what we as parents, try to do, to ensure that we know our children, that our children can speak to us and they understand, and that they can be able to be open, right? And so when your child does something out of the ordinary, and you are told that your child does something out of the ordinary, and you know that no, it cannot be your child, you will go 10 toes deep in your child's defense. And this is where I'm going to end this segment of my take. Do not fail to leave your comments in the comment section. Do not fail to share this video, and do not fail to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video.